Hey guys, and welcome back to Pikmin 3. In the last day, we were in the tropical wilds trying to get a clue of where Captain Olimar went off to, but unfortunately the signal led to an old cell phone. And in this day, we're going to use the cell phone to expand our signal range and start exploring in the Twilight River.
What do you think of the Twilight River, Yoshi?
Well, if you remember what I thought about the autumn level in Pikmin 2, I absolutely adore the Twilight River, mainly because it is the autumn area of the game, and I'm a huge fan of fall. Despite that, the Twilight River is not only gorgeous to look at, but it also holds the introduction to my favorite Pikmin type.
And mine too.
We are going to be seeing them in a tiny bit, but before we do, let's get a bit of introduction as to why Alf wanted to go on the mission, aside from his engineering capabilities.
Oh, I'm a total sociopath.
I have no friends. Got kicked out of university for an experiment. Involved food shortages.
Then caused one.
So I guess this is, I don't know, to make up for my mistakes. But right there, basically, Captain Charlie just has a bunch of stupid rescue operations that involve the rubber duck, and he's apparently a legendary hero because of it. That will never come into play ever again, by the way. He's just a hero in quotes. But he's just a regular goof. But we love Charlie.
Look, he's a hero to someone. It's just that someone doesn't have a brain.
He does, it's just that he's looking up to the wrong person.
I was referring to the duck.
You know what, that's fair. I love that line where Charlie's like, oh, I could smell another captain, Brittany. That's gross. Ew. Okay, so, since we just got here, what I actually want to do is only have a squad of 70. On one hand, because I want to attack this Flint Beetle. If you remember in the last game, if you hit them enough times, they spit out nectar like that. And a lot of my Pikmin are still just leaves.
Yeah, the glint beetles are back and they look more like UFOs now.
Yeah. They got a kind of like a little psychedelic kind of upgrade. So, I think I described it a little bit, but basically what the flowers do is that it lets the Pikmin accomplish their tasks faster, so that includes carrying objects, attacking, helping other Pikmin when one's in trouble, that sort of thing. So every chance you get when you find nectar, do everything in your power to get it, because it's gonna save you a lot of pain in the long run. Not only that, but you can already see that the flower buds are just trailing just behind the flowers and the leaves are just dead last. We also see that there is an onion in trouble.
It's a pink onion.
Yeah, which I remember we had a discussion years ago, figuring out what kind of new Pikmin types there would be, and one of my ideas was actually a pink Pikmin.
Yeah, and we made a joke about that in the Pikmin 2 LP. It was unfortunate. Let's not bring it back.
Yeah. I just remember that their ability involved shields.
I don't remember that part.
Well, that was my, I'm remembering, when I was 15, my idea was, oh yeah, they would be like defense Pikmin. They would be able to, help other Pikmin protect themselves, or if they're getting devoured, they would bring up a shield or something. But, I actually like what they did with the pink Pikmin much better in this game.
It has a lot more utility. A defensive Pikmin... Well, that's kind of what the rock Pikmin are, in a way. But
yeah.
A defensive Pikmin wouldn't have much use otherwise.
Yeah, it was an idea I had when I was, really young. In hindsight, it's that's stupid. So, while I have the yellow Pikmin working on the electrical fence, as well as starting on bridges, because, of course, we have to build bridges, I want to go and take care of a classic Pikmin enemy here, our Puffy Blowhog. I think in this game, they don't blow away the flowers off the Pikmin anymore.
That was only the orange Blowhawk.
Right, that was it. But yeah, they're annoying because they tend to blow your squad away. They can't kill your squad unless they, like, roll over and fall into a lake and you can't get them in time, but they're just a bit of a nuisance. The reason why I take care of that is because I want to explore that cave. We're gonna need to clear it out of the way because there are more bridge pieces to collect, and if that thing were to blow the Pikmin, it would make them lose the bridge pieces, which we don't want. We're also gonna beat the crap out of the Wollywogs here. If you remember, in the last two games, they were really a pain in the ass to kill. But with our rock Pikmin, we can just literally just stone it to death.
Because they can't be crushed to death.
Mm-hmm. The rock Pikmin are completely immune to yellow Wollywogs. It's kind of sad in a way, you know? They went from being like one of the most annoying things to deal with to like an utter joke. So, we throw our rock Pikmin and I didn't have to throw one of the leaders there, but I just thought it'd be funny. So that way they can break that crystal over there. There's a fruit we can pick up. Don't let the water fool you. You can absolutely recover this one right now.
Yeah, they just go over the ledge.
Mm-hmm.
So, something that we kind of missed, when you got the nectar, the Pikmin only drank a little bit. In the first two, if a single leaf got to the nectar, they would drink the whole thing and waste it. In this case, they only take as much as they need to get the flower, and then there's nectar left over for the others, which is very nice, but that does also mean that you can't have all of your Pikmin swarm a single piece of nectar and they'd all turn to flowers. It's balanced now, at least.
Yeah, it's a little better. Like, despite that, I end up, like, charging my Pikmin towards the nectar anyway. At least for me, for the most part, it tends to work.
Out of the way, out of the way.
Excuse me.
Oh, excuse me, corpse.
Corpse? I was gonna call him Olimar, but I'm gonna leave Alf there so that way he can recover the Pikmin when they're done with their little job. I'm also making my way towards the cave, and I want to grab these bomb rocks. The reason being is because there is a stone wall near our landing site, and I'm going to split the party so that way I can have one of them just take care of that and just deliver the Pikmin when I'm all done.
3 are needed, the 4th is for fun.
Yeah, the 4th was just to take care of that monster. I accidentally threw that yellow Pikmin, but thankfully I was able to whistle this one safely.
Because he's not stupid like the rocks. He's not dumb as a rock, if you will.
Yeah, you beat me to it. I was just gonna say, well, look at it. In hindsight, I didn't really actually need to throw Brittany over there. I like to have her walk because there's a lily pad that you can ride and just get back onto the side. But then I figured, it'll just save a few seconds. I was gonna start heading towards that cave, but then I realized that I was literally one Pikmin short. So, I call upon Alf, and I throw just one red Pikmin over to Charlie. I throw it the wrong way because I want to stop these guys. There. Now we can head to the cave. So, much like the other day ones of a new area, you're gonna basically be spending most of the time just clearing things up, building bridges, killing enemies, the works. You're gonna want to come into this cave with 20 yellows, by the way, or at least. And is that who I think it is?
It's everybody's not favorite.
It's everybody's most detested.
It's not that nobody likes the Dumble, it's that nobody trusts the Dumble.
Live on, my friend. Also, the yellow Pikmin got stuck behind a mushroom there for a second. When the Pikmin start that animation where they start looking left and right as if they just went blind for a second, that's your cue to whistle them, and it also, if you look at your squad numbers, you can actually see that it counts as them being separated from you.
Now get out of my way.
I stood in the middle of the bridge pieces there because I was trying to help the two leaf Pikmin catch up, but it didn't work. So, going back to the nectar talk, the reason why I was doing that, standing in front of them, was because it really does actually help when the Pikmin are flowers or buds when they're bringing bridge parts, because they're just overall faster and they don't have to worry about that. I also set like 5 red Pikmin a while ago to start farming some red berries for me, which is fine because I can let them do that all day and the berries regrow much faster than they do in Pikmin 2.
There's not going to be many things that require red specifically.
Yeah. So they're good as just your everyman. Your every Pikmin.
Your everyman.
Still leaving Alf there just so that way by the end of the day we can recover the reds when we have to leave. So now that we finally got that bridge done, we learned that the pink Pikmin are actually called the winged Pikmin. And also, you see those leaves right there? They're kind of hard to see, but these dry brown ones, these are skitter leaf enemies. You're going to want to kill them, because if you don't, they can actually sneak up and eat some of your Pikmin when you're not noticing. That is also an arachnode. You can only use rock Pikmin to stop those things. If you throw your Pikmin on the spider web, it'll crawl and try to eat them, which you can try to whistle them free, or just throw more rocks at it.
This is why we only pulled out 70, because we need space to get more wing Pikmin.
Mm-hmm.
They're adorable!
Yeah, they're super cute.
Look at them wiggle.
Yeah, look at the little feet. They have wings. Their eyes are blue, which kind of remind me of like how the eyes for the white Pikmin are. And basically, I'll go ahead and say that these are the most broken Pikmin of the game.
Yeah, because being winged, that means they can fly. That means water's not really an obstacle anymore.
Yeah, water is no longer a problem. They're able to just completely overcome obstacles that... the pink Pikmin seemed like a great idea, but I also feel like they had a bit of an oversight problem with them, because they didn't really think about it.
Well, they can also fly over a lot of enemies.
Yeah, and genuinely ignore a lot of danger. That doesn't make them invincible, by the way. They are just as weak as all the other Pikmin. Funnily enough, they are actually the weakest physically.
Yeah.
But despite that, their utility is so useful, and they're so adorable that they tend to just not give a fuck. I'll demonstrate them not giving a fuck in a future part. Like Thorn said, the reason why we had the squad at 70 was so we could farm more. In order for us to continue our little Where's Olimar quest, we need to get more pink Pikmin. Which is good, because I actually spend quite a lot of time farming pink Pikmin, not just here. It's good to have like a whole bunch of them, similar to reds. Me personally, I think you should prioritize pink Pikmin second over all the other types.
Yeah, I watched ahead. You spent way more time farming these than for any other.
Yeah, that's because they're actually super useful. Their versatility is good, on top of... I could have demonstrated a trick here. There's a... You see that... Oh, well, when we get to that cliff. On that cliff, there's a shopping bag for 10. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to clear more parts of the map before you can actually push that box over. If you position your pink Pikmin just right, you can actually just have them charge over and push the box for you. There's another bag where you can do that too. There's 2 bags where they can just completely negate you actually having to go around the whole map to do it. For the sake of the Let's Play, I decided to just do it casually, but the fact that that's even a thing, it kind of tells me they didn't really think about or experiment with the pinks all that much, or they just didn't realize. I would imagine if the Wii U had not failed, that would absolutely be patched out. But there's just a lot of things you can do in Pikmin 3 that you don't have to worry about, because unless there's a Switch version, you can get away with it.
Well, this game came out quite a while ago. They had time.
They had plenty of time, but they just didn't bother.
So, look at this. They're just crossing the river. They don't care.
The little swirly pink things, they can pull them. They can pull out only things exclusive to them. That branch is necessary to move because it gives us more lily pads to jump over.
Look who it is.
So, we have our good old friend Louie in distress, sending an SOS. Seems like he got separated from Olimar. Well, that's the end of Louie.
You might need to get some of those bulbs that they use on newborns, because you are stopped up, Charlie.
So, unfortunately, it doesn't matter which Kopite you use. They identify Louie as Captain Olimar.
Well, they have no reason to believe that there would be another Hawkitation here.
That is true. But the fact that Louie even outright said, "Please help Captain Olimar," they must have assumed, we have to help him, because he's speaking in the third person.
He's as narcissistic as I am.
He's just as stupid as I see. So, now that we cleared that branch, unfortunately, we are running out of time, so whatever's attacking Louie, we're gonna have to put off for the next day.
Louis spends some time out in the wilderness.
You know, to be fair though, Louie has proved that he can survive without Pikmin. So, if anything, whatever's attacking Louie, I would say is actually what's in real danger. He'll be fine. In fact, Louie would probably try to eat whatever it was attacking him. Since I don't have enough time to really go and save him, I spend the rest of the time gathering more pink Pikmin. This is really cute because they have their own little air traffic going on.
Yeah, I like that. They're so patient and polite.
Yeah. I guess your mileage may vary on this, but if you ever call upon like a whole bunch of pink Pikmin out of their onion, I know they're called winged Pikmin, but I always refer to them as pink. If you call them out of the onion, you'll just hear a bunch of them squealing and like excitedly. They're just happy to be alive, man.
Yeah, I like the sounds they make in particular. They sound a lot sweeter than the others.
So, would you believe me if I said that yes, the pink Pikmin are the purple Pikmin of this game?
In a way, they won't wreck enemies, but they're like that for obstacles.
Yeah. You call upon them to solve the majority of your puzzles. This is me trying to find where one of the lost Pikmin are. I don't know how this happened, but that one red Pikmin with the berry got stuck? Even though he should just be on the lily pad, I'm assuming what happened was there were other Pikmin on the lily pad, and I guess he got held up, but that wouldn't make sense because every time you jump on a lily pad, you all jump out together. So I don't know what got him stuck, but thankfully I got him in time.
You found the dumb one.
I found the dumb one.
Doop-da-doop-da-doop-da-doop.
That takes care of day 6. Probably should have mentioned it when we were gathering berries, but there's a little tiny meter under where these sprays go. The meter tells you how many more berries you need to fill up in order to get another dose.
I'm glad they added that because you couldn't tell before.
Yeah. You just had to keep hammering berries into the... Oh yeah, it was just called the ship in the second game. You just had to keep feeding it berries until eventually it said, yeah, you're fine.
Eat me, Papa, eat!
I do find it interesting that the onion not only increases with more other onions, but it's like, how did the onions evolve into such a state?
Yeah, how did they get jets? It's like we were talking about with the Bulborb last time. That happened with the onion.
You know what would be an idea for a horrible Pikmin enemy? A false onion enemy that, like, you go in and you try to, like, put your Pikmin back and it just eats what's ever in there.
That would be bizarre. So, an onion mimic.
Yeah, pretty much. That would actually be kind of cool. Horrific, but cool. So the good news is, we at least know that Olimar and Louie are here. The bad news is, we kinda left Louie to die, but that's alright. We got so many pink Pikmin, though.
He'll get used to it.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
He looks out dead-eyed into the space. What has happened to my life?
Maybe I am a monster. I caused the food starvation and now this. I still like that they refer to him as Captain Olimar.
Oh, the irony.
To be fair to them, they just don't know. So if you see this, if the game ever says, like, save over previous data, that's because I was experimenting with some of my other days and I actually went back to redo this.
For good reason.
Yeah, so this is one of my other attempts. Nothing actually went wrong here, but I felt that I should have done a retake anyway. I grabbed this data file right after I throw the pink Pikmin onto the branch, because once you lift up the branch, that's when you get the SOS from Louie. And,
They scream because they don't know what's happening.
They did it, I guess!
Yay, we got the lily pads!
So yeah, that was really bizarre. I really think me grabbing the data file kind of like canceled out the animation, is what I'm assuming. But it wasn't really that big of a deal, but because I wanted to see the pink Pikmin actually lift up the branch, I decided to retake it again. Day 6 wasn't really all that hard, it was just, probably the hardest part is killing the Joustmite, because I had some attempts where when I threw the bomb, it would bury itself, and the yellow Pikmin would, like, plant the bomb, but the bomb wouldn't go off for some reason. It would just set it down. It's good to kill the Joustmite because if you're gathering bridge pieces, at least like for the first 20 bridge pieces you find near the electric fence, the Pikmin are just going to walk past it, and because it takes the animation for it crawling out of the hole and trying to attack take so long, they'll be fine. But if you were to try to get the 30 pieces inside the cave and do that, you're absolutely going to lose some Pikmin, and then you're going to have to go back and get those bridge pieces, so that's why I threw the bomb on it.
Speaking of yellows, it's kind of funny how they're constantly trying to balance them out, because in the first game, couldn't they just fly high and that was pretty much it?
They had their height, and they were the only ones that could pick up bomb rocks.
That's right. And then in the second one, bomb rocks were too big, so no Pikmin could pick them up. They could just activate them.
Yeah.
So in this one, they can be picked up again, but now any Pikmin can pick them up. So with the yellows, along with being resistant to electricity in the second game, now you can use them to activate broken power lines.
Yeah, like, I think it's cool that they keep putting more utility on the yellow Pikmin, but I feel like they're ignoring the blues.
Mm-hmm.
Which we haven't gotten to just yet, but I don't think it'll be much of a shock to say, hey, the blues work exactly like they did in 1 and 2.
And with the pink Pikmin, there's even less use for them because you can still cross over water and get to places that aren't submerged, but there's not that much that is submerged now.
Yeah. One of the days I have upcoming, like, I basically clear everything except for one fruit that's in the water. And that's the only thing I'm missing.
So is that going to be a video that's like 3 days in one because you only need to get one thing in these individual areas?
Yeah, I think it might just be like oh look, day 10 was short, so day 11, and it'll be in the same video. It's kind of a shame, like, we'll dive deep more in it, literally, when we get to the blue Pikmin, but, like, for the most part, I feel like they got the shaft again. Like, in 2, I feel like they balanced it off just well enough where it was like, you have all these underwater puzzles, and, like, they had an entire cave dedicated to just blues, and none of the other Pikmin got that. And in this game, it just kind of feels like they were an afterthought. Like, they made the new Pikmin, and they beefed up the reds and the yellows, but I guess they couldn't think of anything for blue other than water.
Well, what else could you do with them?
Mm, well, maybe they could have like a cute little thing like involving waterfalls, like they could swim up them and grab some stuff.
That'd be kind of cool. They would need more than just the mouths. They would also need flippers or something.
Yeah, yeah, that could be a new thing, Pikmin evolution.
Because the onion's evolving.
Yeah, the onions are evolving, so it would make sense that the Pikmin types get new attributes. I mean, they do per game. We haven't seen them, but we haven't seen them like the transition of when they get those attributes, but they do have them. The red Pikmin don't really have that problem because it's okay that they're just resistant to fire and they're just strong. That's fine. They fill a category of where they work in any scenario, where the appeal to blue is that it's all water and nothing else.
I do like the waterfall idea because there was that one peach that you walked past, which was by a waterfall. You said you couldn't really do anything with it. Is that a case where it has to be blues?
Yeah, because of where the water is. If there was a little stick that was poking out, if I had them build the stick, climb it, and try to grab the peach, they would have started drowning. And literally, the blues just grab it. Like, that's the only attribute they have. And if we had the waterfall, then you could be able to abandon the stick method altogether. Then again, it doesn't really solve anything. You'd still need blue.
Well, I'm saying, like, the blues could do that specifically.
Yeah, then they'll be able to just swim up and grab the peach. I don't know. I'm sure in Pikmin 4 they'll think of something for the blues.
I don't think people would be too incensed if they also started fiddling with the red, yellows, and blues designs a little bit. So, like, if the blues did get fins of some sort or something else, because the rock Pikmin and the pink Pikmin are so radically different visually.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least comparatively radically. It is amusing we call the wing Pikmin pink Pikmin, just sort of inherently, but we don't call the rock Pikmin gray Pikmin, because visually they look completely different, so our mind doesn't go that way.
Yeah, you are right though. Like rock Pikmin, I always gravitate towards saying rock Pikmin. I never say gray. It's just pink sounds easier and quicker, just better to say.
They don't look different enough for our minds to go that way.
Yeah, but I do like because my thought was that they were just going to keep making Pikmin and name them after colors. This is the first time where they named them specifically not only by their shape, but for what they can do. So, if anything, that actually opens the door to more Pikmin types.
Yeah, and I think it opens the door to go in completely different directions, maybe even with the established Pikmin.
Yeah, there's a lot they can do with the Pikmin species. As for the leaders, I don't know if we can keep making games where they crash land all the time, but that seems to just be par for the course.
At least with these last two, they were going to the planet anyway. In the first one, it was an accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is funny. Even when they want to go here, they hit something.
And it seems like this time Olimar and Louie are in trouble, I guess because we're not in control of them this time. Well, the plot says that these three new guys are the protagonists, so that's why.
Plot required incompetence, I guess.
We'll get more into Olimar and Louie as time goes on, because there is something I do want to talk about a little bit. It involves the plot when we get there.
Yeah. Louis doesn't come out of this great.
Yeah. I will say this, though. I think it's interesting that he mentioned the SS Dolphin, which is Olimar's ship in the first game. The second game, you just had the company ship from Hokitate Freight. Here, Hokitate Freight would be something else entirely. That would be like a haunted house kind of thing. Hokitate Freight, like that's the ship in the second game. Here, Louis specifically mentioned that it's the SS Dolphin, so it seems that they did get the ship back, because in Pikmin 2, you see it get repossessed the second he gets back.
I guess that's a sequel kick in the pants that the players just get. In the second game, the ship you spent the entire game fixing gets sold as soon as you come back. In the third game, the two characters that you spent the entire game with suck now. Oh well, but what are we doing next time?
Well, next time we're gonna try to save Louis, or Captain Olimar in this case.
Lure.
That voice does come back, by the way.